Hey family. Um so if you've seen the last video about the new season, that the new season that God has revealed that we have stepped into, um as I said that I believe that he's showing me that this is going to be a very um victorious season. I also feel as though that he's speaking to me on the fact that this is going to be a season of healing. So, God recently spoke to me, as I told you guys, about the fruit trees that bear fruit to feed the hungry sheep. And He now has also spoke to me on the other part of that, which is the leaves of healing. Um, Revelation 22:2, which is a verse that I shared with you guys recently, he brought that back up to me again. So, Revelation 22:2 says, "In the middle of its street, and on either side of the river, was the tree of life, which bore 12 fruits, each tree yielding its fruit every month. And the leaves of the tree were for the healing of the nations." So God reminded me that He doesn't just want to feed us, but He wants to heal us from our broken minds, bodies, and spirits. Recently, a sister told me that she had been given a word a long time ago that she had felt defeated on because she hadn't seen that door open until the Lord brought it back to her through a word He gave me to speak, which then healed her, which then healed her heart with that. So this is something that God wants for all of us. Jeremiah 30:17 says, "But I will restore you to health and heal your wounds, declares the Lord, because you are called an outcast, Zion, for whom no one cares." So, um, also Proverbs 21:20, which says, "There is desirable treasure and oil in the dwelling of the wise, but a foolish man squanders it." So you can, as you see, you can squander your the treasure of the oil, and you can also squander your fruit. But I'll speak on that in the next video. So um, I had these two dreams that the Lord gave me um, on this healing that He is that we are entering into. So the first dream I had, I was in a class and I went over to my locker to get some things out for an assignment, and I had to get undressed and changed into another set of clothes, i.e., a new season. So, I had just been given these clothes, and they were for some type of surgery. I was being prepped for some type of surgery or some type of engineering that I was about to go into, and there was like no locker rooms where I was at. Like there was no place to like get changed, so I was like just getting changed right there in the open, and I was standing on some stairs next to my locker. Then the teacher or the scientist, and I've mentioned before that been given the understanding that teachers and especially scientists represent angels, so like ministering angels. So the teacher or scientist or engineer, whatever she was, and another girl that seemed to be maybe like her assistant, had came over and they had covered me with these white sheets or white towels, so that no one would see me naked. So I know that represents God covering me, covering my nakedness, protection, all types of things in that manner. So I was then kind of worried about this girl seeing me naked. Like I kept thinking, well, is she gonna see me naked? But she wasn't even paying attention to me like in that manner. So I had this drawing, one of the papers that I had taken out of my locker. I knew it was a drawing, and it had something to do with Spider-Man. Like there's Spider-Man on the drawing and something else. And I know that I had this drawing, and it was representing. Um, it had something to do with the surgery assignment that I was going into. Like I was going to be imparted with the abilities of Spider-Man, or I was going to be given some type of armor that this drawing had, um, and the engineers or the scientists, they were going to be putting these things in me or on me or something like that. So then I woke up from that dream, and I had another dream, and in this dream, I went to some kind of like fair, like some kind of fun place, some fun activity place, with Ruben, and he's one of my best friends. But I've told you guys before that um, Ruben has seemed to be a angel, maybe a guardian angel, but he has seemed to be an angel that goes out and does different things with me. Because I always have dreams about him or doing things with him, going places, traveling. I've seen one dream where he went out into space, and I was able to see through the wall. And he went and got into this spaceship, but I wasn't able to go out into space, and I was almost sucked out into the vacuum of space. But then he closed the door right before I was sucked out. So I know he represents an angel. So um uh so as I was saying, sorry, I had to try to catch up where I was at. So we went to this fair, and we were doing these going through these obstacle courses at this place in this building. And we there were all types of different things. Like there was this obstacle course that you like climbed up on, and then after you climbed up, there were these tanks filled with water, and you had to like go in the tank and swim. Like you were swimming in this little tank, but you were also like holding your breath, seeing how long you could hold your breath. So as I'm doing all these obstacles, I was like beating all the records of the place, from the people that had done these obstacles before. And I was in the swimming tank, and I was holding my breath longer than anyone else, and I was climbing up faster than anyone else had done. And then the owner had came over, and he had I noticed that he was of Arabic descent. So I highly believe that this was Jesus in this dream. So he had or like Middle Eastern descent, should I say, not Arabic, but he he had put this vest on me, and like he had noticed he said that he had noticed that I was beating like all the records, and I guess he like wanted to test me. So he had put this vest on me, and then he put the same type of vest on him, and he took this like bungee cord and clipped it to his vest, and then clipped the other side to mine. And and we were on top of this platform, and he like went he took a few steps backwards, and then jumped off of it backwards. And like I said, this bungee cord is connected to, or we're connected to each other through this bungee cord. So I'm thinking, all these thoughts going through my head at that moment. Like, one, I'm still connected to him, so if he jumps off, I'm going to get pulled off. So all I could think was I should probably jump off of this platform with him. So I jumped off right after he jumped off, and as I hit the ground, I landed on the ground, or as I was falling to the ground, I realized that there was a cord on this vest, and I was supposed to pull the cord as I jumped off, and then it was going to inflate, and air was going to be pushed out of it, which was going to allow me to come down gently and softly, like almost having a parachute on. So I had pulled the cord as I was already on the ground, and when I did that, it like lifted me up in the air a little bit, and then I came down real slow and gently, and I was like real excited, like I was like, whoa, like what was that? So um after he had did all that, um he had then wrote down our scores, and he said that he was like very happy with us, and and there was a life that he had for us. It was something that he had for us, and like some gifts or something like that. So he had said, he had pulled out this box, and and in the box, there were these gloves and these socks, and he told us that we could take as many as we wanted from it. So I was like, okay. So I started grabbing a bunch of them, and putting them in this bag that I had, and and then I noticed that the socks, they were these orange socks, and they had some kind of cream, some kind of like aloe cream in them, and and then I had put the socks in the bag, and then there were two different kinds of gloves. There were gloves that were like mittens, and then there were these other gloves, um, that were like the fingertips were open in these gloves. But I knew that these gloves, that he had gave me these gloves because it was cold out. It was really cold out. So he had gave me these gloves, and I had felt like he really was like looking out for us, almost like a father would, like a dad would, to his kids. So um at that point, I knew that we had to leave. We had to go. We had to leave, so that we could go catch our train to get back to home base. And we went to go, but then I noticed that there were other students there that that had they had caught the bus to get to this facility. So I had asked them if the bus was just for them or if it was any for everybody, and they had said it was for everybody. It was these group of girls I was talking to. So she has said that one of the girls has said that it was for everybody. So I was excited that we didn't have to run and try to catch this train, and that we could just get on the bus, and the bus was going to take us home. And then one of the girls had said something about her brother getting on the wrong bus, or she couldn't imagine her brother getting on the wrong bus, and asking where it was going. And then at that point I noticed that I had cheese doodle crumbs all over my fingers, but I was relieved that we didn't have to run and go catch this train to get back. And then I had woke up from there. So so now I'm gonna tell this. Oh wait, no, that was the last dream. So what I believe was that I was showing myself getting prepped for this surgery because God is healing me from certain things. Personally, I'm currently healing from a fractured foot. I was outside playing with my kids and showing off doing parkour tricks, running off the wall, and I ended up rolling my ankle, and come find out 2 weeks later, when I finally went got it checked out, it was fractured. Uh, so I'm healing from that right now. So that's one thing I know physically that I need to be healed from. But I know there's also spiritual things, mental things, from just things that I've come across, things that I've battled, um, trials that I've gone through. The Lord knows what we go through. He knows the battle scars that we receive from different trials and different things that we go through in our walk, and He wants to at a period he wants to give us rest, and heal us from them things, as before we step into a new arena per se. So I also feel as though that He was equipping me with new tools or new abilities, as I was talking about the whole Spider-Man thing, to conquer and overcome trials in this new season. Then I was showing myself testing these new abilities out in this place, and but I also want to point out that the Lord showed me that no matter how far I advance, or that we advance, um, we must always keep our trust in Him always, and keep our faith in Him, um, and that there will be times when we will have no time to think, but we must leap after Him. We watch Him, we see what He does. As He does what His Father does, we do what we see Him do. When we see Him leap, we must follow and leap after Him. And when we do so, if we have our safety vests on, or this could also represent the breastplates of righteousness, and our lifeline is secured to Him, then He will plant us down safely, like having a parachute on. And after that, He again reminded me of Him looking after us and healing us by giving me those socks with the aloe cream and the gloves to protect my hands from the bitter cold, which this also speaks on good of God protecting the works of our hands, which in Deuteronomy 30 verse 9 says, "Then the Lord your God will make you most prosperous in all the work of your hands, and in the fruit of your womb, the young of your livestock, and the crops of your land. The Lord will again delight in you and make you prosperous, just as He delighted in your ancestors." So that's what He has given me on part of this part of this season, this season of healing, the healing that we have in store for us. So I want to make one more video, so check me out on that. So God bless you guys, I love you, and I'll see you in the next video.